Today is August 26th, 2022. It is a Friday. Let me start by saying that I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This information is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Today, I'd like to be talking about AMC APE. APE stands for AMC Preferred Equity Unit. This was the first week of trading, and this is my first public coverage of APE. And AMC. Okay, so let's look and see what happened. On Monday, August 22, this was the first day of trading. We see this tweet at the end of the day by Aron. 149 million AMC shares and 108 million APE shares were traded on Monday on the New York Stock Exchange. The exchange halts trading due to volatility, defined as a plus minus 5% price change within a 5-minute period. If so, trading is stopped for 5-minute pause. On Monday, AMC was halted 3 times. APE was halted 10 times. That is highly, highly unusual. We don't expect to see things like that happening on any stock, to be honest. Now, AMC Biggums he's got a lot of good tweets on the whole AMC space. I recommend you check him out and follow him. I do. Anyway, he happened to tweet this. He said, halt spoofing and release on different days, sell only orders. Anything else they want to try? LMFAO. You can figure out what that means. People literally are being told to wait 1 to 6 business days. This is sad. Yes, it is very sad. And as we can see, APE has been limited to selling shares only on this particular app. Yeah, there you go. That's another example of shenanigans that's going on. He also tweeted about this margin maintenance requirement increase for APE, AMC Preferred Equity Unit. Most margin typically has a 30% margin requirement. In this case, it's increased to 100%. Now, what does this mean for most people? Okay. To understand what this means is a lot of people have margin accounts and a lot of large firms have margin accounts. If you are operating with margin and now suddenly you've seen a margin requirement decrease, that means you're probably going to get rid of the shares that have caused that problem. You can't buy these shares on margin, and if you have other shares on margin and you have this share, it won't count towards your margin basically because it's a 100% margin requirement, right? So as a result, this margin increase in APE basically means people on margin will be selling APE shares, and you'll be discouraged from buying APE shares on margin, right? And a lot of the world, in fact, most of Wall Street operates on margin. That's how they actually operate. So we see that, I don't encourage anyone to operate on margin if that's not clear right now. Margin is a way that they basically sucker you in to exercise what's called a margin call. Anyway, so for retail, margin is not recommended by me. But I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This information is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Okay. Anyway, E-Trade increases margin requirements, which results in selling of APE shares. Okay. Here are the 3 halts that were done on AMC, and the 10 halts that was done on APE shares, right? APE. Insane. If you look at the halt, it started halting at 9:38 until 9:43, and then it immediately halted again at 9:43 all the way up till 9:48. And then at 9:49, it immediately halted again up until 9:54. Then at 9:57, it halted again up until 10:02, and then at 10:05, it halted up until 10:10. Then it ran for a few minutes, like at 10:14, and then it halted again at 10:19. This is insane. I won't go through all of it, but it's halting more than it's trading. It's just nutsoid. Okay, I've never seen anything like this. This is just pure pandemonium here. Someone is getting very nervous because they are basically showing manipulation like crazy. By the way, during all this time of share halting and all sorts of stuff, we know that the SEC, unfortunately, they were unable to log into their computer because FINRA basically locked them out somehow. We don't know why, but they were locked out since 8 in the morning. So the cop on the beat is not able to be on the beat because he can't see anything, right? That's the way things go. So there were 10 trading. So this was what I tweeted. As a result of that, I said 120 million APE shares traded today. There were 10 trading halts when the price was increasing, right? Not much trading halts as the price is being manipulated downwards, but retail basically holds 85% of AMC APE shares. Retail didn't sell. There were 14.9K buys for 3.5K sells. So who sold APE, right? FTD is expected T0. That should be T0, meaning trade plus zero. So, yeah. And if we look at the orders by Fidelity, we see that there's 14,942 shares that were buy orders and 3,489 shares that were sell orders. Okay, a ton more buys than sells. Same thing with same thing with AMC. There were 11,165 shares that were bought and 3,548 that were sold. Yet at the same time, the price went down, 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 down. How can that happen? I don't know, but I do know that at the start of the morning, I woke up extra early in the morning. I live in California, so I woke up at 6:30 in the morning to try to buy some APE shares because I wanted some more APE shares. I have some APE shares coming in as a dividend, my dividend shares did come in. They were on Fidelity and they showed up just before trading started, I believe. In either case, I wanted to buy more, and you know what? I tried to place a market order, and they said no. You have to place a limit order only. And I couldn't get a price on the broker's platform to place a limit order because the price is moving too quickly. And it took me about 15 to 20 minutes to get an order to get through. It shouldn't be that difficult to buy a share of stock. It shouldn't, really. Okay. Now, interestingly enough, the price went up on, if you look at the volume, the price went up on very low volume. Okay. The volume at the end of the day is much higher. And if we look at that, the price went down for most of the day. And real price discovery only happened at the start of the day, I'm saying, and at the end of the day. But what happened at the end of the day? Why did the price go up? Well, Finra resolved its computer problems with the SEC and let the SEC log in. At 3:26 p.m., the SEC was able to log into their computers. And wouldn't you know it, the price of APE shares started going up. Wow, that's amazing. Talk about coincidence there. That's just really amazing. So we see Nutbag Punch happen to say APE is in huge demand. Brokers like Merrill, apparently Merrill is his broker, have yet to deliver the dividend. Don't let this price action fool you today. Dividends need to be handed out on a large scale. APE will rocket. So again, these are the orders by Fidelity, and if we look at it, there was a ton more buys than sells. I made a tweet that day. I happened to say that the reason that I was given that they would only accept limit orders was that APE was an illiquid stock. Apparently, the most heavily traded stock by Fidelity is an illiquid stock. How is that possible? More people bought and sold, APE. More people bought APE than they bought Amazon, Apple. I mean, what is this? You don't have limit orders on those. You can place market orders. The reason I want to place a market order is I wanted to make sure that I got those shares. I didn't really care what the price was at that time. I just wanted to get additional shares, and I wanted to buy them. So I said, buy at the market, whatever the market is, right? And they said, no, you can't do that. And it's like, what the hell? I was actually pissed off about that. I took notes about it because, this thing had never happened to me in the past before. And I doubt that it's ever going to happen to me in the future. This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing that you see. It is, and it's not a good thing, of course, but it is freaking amazing that you would see such blatant stuff going on. Anyway, on our AMC stock, we can see the question being asked: how obvious can it get? 23.6% of the APE dividend was traded on day one. And a whole bunch of people didn't get their APE shares yet. Smells pretty smells pretty suspicious to me. All I'm saying is they can't make it any more obvious. I kind of agree. I mean, what is going on there? I happen to tweet this, that APE shares were driven down hard today, multiple stops. Personally, I'm expecting to see lots of fails to deliver once this FTD report comes out. Because each APE share equals each APE FTD failure to deliver equals one AMC short. Okay, so Suppose we suddenly see that there's 1 billion FTDs for APE. What does that mean? Then it becomes a known fact, right? There's not enough shares to cover the AMC short position. So that means the AMC shorts cannot cover their position. There are not physically enough shares, right? So AMC Bigham's also happened to tweet this, and I think it's really he's got some good info out there. Definitely, I recommend that you follow him and check out what he has to say. He's got a good YouTube channel too as well. So one thing I've said repeatedly, and I don't want this to expose a ton of synthetics and end up like CMKX Diamond, according to TD Ameritrade. Okay, brokers put them in accounts without shares. So what do we say? While we can't be, so TD Ameritrade happens to say, while we can't speak to the specific practices of other firms, some firms may decide to post shares to client accounts before they receive the actual shares. We do not. TD Ameritrade is saying that they're the good guys and that they're not posting fake shares into your account, and other brokers are. Looks like finger pointing going on. This is a New York Stock Exchange, the halts, and we can see that it was halted 10 times APE was halted 10 times, AMC was halted 3 times, all in the same day. It's amazing. It's incredible. Yeah, I would never have guessed in my wildest dreams things like this could happen. Okay, on Tuesday, August 23rd, the following day, one day after, what do we see? We see this price action. Volume of 104 million shares. 104 million shares traded on Tuesday. Don't forget, there were only 516 million APE shares that were to be distributed. Okay, 516 million. 120 million got traded the first day. Now 100 million is traded now. What's going on here? Anyway, once the market opens, it shoots up in the price, and we see, the price is relatively stable. It doesn't go up very much. But we do see that there okay, let's look at AMC stock for a second. So AMC, if we look at AMC shares, the price has come down significantly. It came down the first day, came down the second day, okay? $9.56, it's under $10. And if we look at the trading halts, okay, apparently APE was trading halted again on the second day, on Tuesday, okay? If we look back, you can't really rightly tell that there was a trading halt that happened, but apparently it made someone nervous, and they had to halt trades. We see this tweet by James US. Thank you, James US, for tweeting this and putting this into a readable format. APE was halted on every long candlestick. Hedge funds are really blocking APE to run, and we can see where the trading halts are, and he's pointed out, how they're stopping APE from running. And as you can see, on the upticks, on the major candlesticks, they're being halted continually. So they really are afraid that APE will run, and it will run big time. He also happened to tweet out about the halts on the previous day. There were 10 halts there. They were insane. Okay, first off, it's insane to have the stock halted 10 times within the same day. Most of the halts came at the start of the day, right, as the price was heading up dramatically. And we see there were halts even in the middle of the day, and just before the SEC said, hey, our computers are working now. Now we can look and see what's happening. Give a quick shout out first, and to make sure everyone's covered their tracks. But anyway, in the middle of the day, under very low price, the price didn't change very much at all, right? There's very low volume, very low price pressure there. It halted. And again, just once the SEC computers started working, it halted again. Amazing. Daddy Jr. 2.0 had this tweet on Tuesday, which I think sums up a lot of things perfectly. He says, "Today is first. There were a lot of firsts today. It's the first time I've ever seen Finra locked out. First time I've seen retail unable to buy options. First time a preferred equity has been halted. First time a 90% buy stock goes down." Right? We saw more than 90% of the stock was bought, and yet the price still went down. First time I've seen the stock halt 12 times in a day. Well, it was 10 times, but if we count the next 2 days, it's halted 12 times. There you go. First time I've seen a stock volume double over a minute after the closing bell. Yeah, after the bell closed, stock volume doubled. What an amazing concept. First time I've seen 2 stocks, AMC and APE, number 1 and number 2 in the world, both dropping. First time I've seen a halt with a 2% move. We saw that 2% move in the middle of the day. First time I've seen numerous brokers unable to provide legally purchased shares. Yeah, you can't get the shares, right? I mean, you're supposed to get the shares as a dividend. You bought the AMC shares legally. What's the deal there? First time I've seen market makers request a halt. The halt didn't come from, from retail wanting the shares halted. No, it came from market makers because the price was running and it was running fast. Wow, amazing. Penny Squeezer 8.01 happened to say, these brokers and banks have yet to deliver APE all day. Well, second day of trading, and yet we see that RBC, Royal Bank of Canada, we see that Merrill Lynch, TD Canada Trust, we see that JP Morgan, none of them delivered APE shares. What is going on there? That is crazy, right? That is crazy. And there's a whole bunch more. Yeah? So we see this Fung King AMC GME. He says, warning, attention, resend. E-Trade canceled my account. Couldn't get into my account. They no longer want to serve me, and my info will be in an email within 7 to 10 business days. It says, oh my gee, if you freaking apes give up now, you are crazy. They know something special. I mean, they know something, apes for life. So there you go. They know something. Yep. Again, the price action is down, and yet most of the buys, most of the stock is being bought, right? It's just craziness. Checkmate. Hashtag checkmate. Fez Ape 801 happens to say, the AMC short seller has opened more short positions on AMC, and this AMC short seller has opened more short positions on AMC, and they are stacking APE. YouTubers are telling you to sell APE and short sellers. And short sellers really need those APE shares from you. Now, this particular guy is telling you to sell AMC and buy APE. And let's hear what he has to say. It's kind of interesting.
This new class of stock, the prefers. Put us up to date, if you would. Are you short? Are you still short AMC?
Well, I'm glad I'm doing this from an undisclosed location that may be ape-proof. So we actually just initiated an AMC short. We were short last year, covered. We just initiated a new position yesterday. However, and just calm down, apes. I'm actually an AMC security holder on the other side. We actually bought the new APE preferred, and we have shorted the AMC common against it. They are economically the same security. They are not freely convertible into each other, but they are economically the same security. And there seems to be a lot of confusion about that. The company can go out now and issue new preferred to finance itself or pay down debt or make acquisitions. But functionally, the two securities are the same. And I would guess the apes will be putting pressure on Mr. Aron if the discount continues to make it freely convertible sooner rather than later. But one's at 6 and one's at 10 or wherever they are right now. That spread is economically an arbitrage.
You think they should be the same price?
They should be. I think they should be the same price, or roughly the same price.
Why would you rather have the preferred versus the original share? Why is one better than the other? Or you're just counting on them to close?
I'm counting on them to close.
Okay.
In effect, that I think they'll ultimately all be the same class. I think that at the end of the day, the economic interest in ownership is one for one. There's a great frequently asked questions section on the AMC website that I would urge the apes and others to just read about what this security is. It's very clear. Adam Aron has made it very clear.
It's very clear, and Adam Aron has made it very clear. Actually, he's right about he's right about that. There is an excellent APE website, and on the AMC Theaters website, check it out. It's under Investors, of course, and he goes over the APE shares in detail. Personally, I like the APE shares a little bit more than I like the AMC shares, but I don't know that I would be shorting AMC shares. Certainly, I wouldn't take that route. I would be just buying more APE shares myself. That's typically what I would do. In either case, I believe, I don't know that you need to short AMC. I think you just need to buy APE because I think APE has a lot of potential. It's also got a lot. It's also got a fair more stuff going on with it. Well, I'll talk about that later. Anyway, Aron happens to tweet on the second day of the New York Stock Exchange, 103.5 million new APE units and 77.5 million AMC shares traded. As expected, some brokerages are doing better than others in getting you your APEs. All of the 4 brokerages I use had it right. They got their clients, including me, APEs by close of business day yesterday. Now, they should have gotten APEs before the start of business day yesterday. So this is, again, Tuesday that this tweet happened. In either case, we see a list of people who are shorting AMC, and that includes Susquehanna, Citadel, Bank of America. There's a bunch, right? It's just huge. There's some very big players who are shorting AMC, and that means that they have a short position on APE as a result. Okay, on Wednesday, August 24th. Okay, this happens. We see this tweet from Simulation Ape Nation or Simulation Chess. Basically, he says, "Hey, look, there's 703 million shares outstanding of APE. How is that happening? There should be 516 million shares outstanding of APE because there's 516 million shares outstanding of AMC. The number of these two numbers should be exactly the same." We also see a similar tweet by 4A Coin, who says that the shares outstanding for APE reads 703.8. Shouldn't it be 516? Right? Same as AMC. See? And we also see this tweet from Matt in AMC. He says, "Hello, Adam. There's total chaos in Germany with the equity dividend APE. The bank brokers all don't want to pay in advance because no one has received the shares. This is news from Germany. Everyone is worried and afraid not to receive APE shares. Best regards from Germany." Germany's all screwed up. They didn't get any APE shares, right? Basically, Gold Ape has the situation wrapped up in this tweet. He says, first it was delay APE, now it's sell APE. Supply and demand says hodl APE and AMC. If you really think CEO Adams expected APE shares to sell, APE, that would go against everything. Yeah. Short is short, long is long. Have you learned nothing from Adam Aarons? This play is not for the weak and impatient. Yeah, I mean, he's not expecting apes to sell APE. He's expecting apes to buy APE, actually. The synthetic shorts got pushed out of AMC and were trapped in APE, like a ghost in a Ghostbusters trap. But the trap is made of diamond-handed apes. This is from Wired, XX Wired, apparently. Just spread the word. And I agree, yeah. Synthetic shorts got trapped because they were synthetic in AMC and they got trapped in APE shares. They need to deliver shares that they don't have. Big-headed Ape tweets, why would they push or advise to sell your shares? Because they need those shares, people. There's a lot of people that still haven't received them. True. They are being exposed and desperate. Spotlight is shining. Bright sun on them. Or bright light on them. Hodl. Now comes to Thursday, August 25th, 2022. Okay. And we see this tweet. This is important. There were 516,820,595 million shares of APE. Or 516.8 million shares of APE were issued for the dividend. Be safe and be well. This is in response to the question about 700 million shares outstanding of APE, right? We saw that kind of FUD happen the previous day, and we saw this FUD being countered by John Merriwether. Thanks, John Merriwether, and thanks, Big Ape, for sharing this information. Okay, that is very useful for me. Okay, we also see that the shorts had a plan to use options to attack. So the shorts basically wanted to use options to back their short position and to attack the longs, and that particular plan may have been put on hold. Okay, Randall Cornett happens to state. This is a breakdown of the CBOE call, the Chicago Board of Options Exchange. They allowed the listing of options. They allowed the listing of options, right? Basically, they're an options exchange. And an unknown exchange challenged the legality of the options chain, so they had to remove it. CBOE has 24 hours for a legal rebuttal. The lady said in 21 years of options, she's seen this happen only one other time, and it's highly unusual. Highly unusual. So they were trying to basically put up an option for APE, which is a preferred share, and there's an underlying common stock called AMC. You normally have options only for the underlying common stock. You can't have options for these preferred shares because the company is AMC. Okay, it's just a different type of AMC stock. That's the way options work. Okay. On Friday, August 26th, that's today, the day that I'm making this video, we see that in Germany, they're now saying, well, they didn't give you your shares before, but they're saying now, unfortunately, it's not possible to increase your position in the AMC Entertainment Holdings preferred units. This is because of taxation complexity and the key investor document missing. It will be possible to hold and or close. If questions remain, contact our service desk. Basically, you can buy. Basically, you cannot buy. Basically, you can sell or you can hold. And at some point, they may want you to sell. Okay. So, what did I do? I decided I needed to make sense of this because there was so much stuff going on. So I just took the stock. This is all the trading of APE stock, and I started writing some notes as to what happened along the way in time. And you know what? I had a ton of notes at the end of it, and it's just I didn't realize there was so much crap going on. Excuse the French. So let me make these notes. Let me make sense out of all this, out of all these notes for you. Okay, first day. There were 10 trading halts initially as the price skyrockets, right? The SEC is locked out of their the SEC is locked out of Finra computers. I can't even speak. It's just insane. There were about 5x more buys than sells, and yet the price still goes down, right? And the SEC is locked out during that point in time. Something's very, very fishy. 123 million shares of APE volume, and yet a lot of people still did not receive their dividend. 516 million shares of dividend have been issued, and yet this is about 1/5 of all the shares. This is more than 1/5. This is about 1/4 of all the shares. This is insane, okay? 1/4 of all the shares have been traded. Yet, when the SEC is able to resolve their IT issues, suddenly the price of APE starts going back upwards. Amazing. Magic. Wow. Tuesday, there were three trading halts initially as the price moves upwards. 104 million shares of volume, right? And yet still a lot of people don't have APE and AMC shares. Insane. Wednesday, price goes up initially, and yet it's countered with naked shorting immediately. 35 million shares of volume. Volume's headed downward now, look at it, right? We see the FUD about the 700 million shares, and we see that there is possibly, I think that could be due to 200 million shares of naked shorts that are out there. And let's see. Now we have Thursday comes along. And John Merriwether issues out his tweet. And he says that there is something like 516 million shares of APE that have been released. The APE options rumors are now have now come out. That's it. They're going to be using options as collateral for naked shorting. 23.4 million shares of APE are traded again. Okay, volume's going down again. And finally, Friday, there's a whole bunch of Germans who still have not yet received their APE dividend, and now they're told they can't buy APE. The APE options are now put on hold by the Chicago Board of Options Exchange. 13.7 million shares of volume. Okay, volume has gone down. Question comes up: who is actually selling these APE shares? Right, volume numbers are rapidly decreasing. Right, so who is selling these APE shares? Are they running out of shares? It'd be nice to know. So, right, 123 million, 100 million, 35 million, 23 million, 17 million. It looks like the volume numbers are going down. Okay, they could be running out. I don't know. But who is selling them? Is it retail? Let's find out. Okay, how many shares does retail own in AMC? Well, this was a press release from June 9th, 2021 from AMC. And they said, as of June 2nd, there were approximately 4.1 million individual shareholders, with an average holding of about 120 shares. Good to know. Let's put that into a spreadsheet. 4.1 million shareholders, 120 shares each on average, means they've counted 492 million shares. Okay, as of June 2nd. We know that very that as of very recently, right, as of August of 2022, there were 516.8 million shares of AMC. That means retail owns 95% of AMC. That means retail owns 95% of APE. Okay, but they're in general in small chunks, 120 shares each, right? So for retail, you got 4.1 million individual shareholders with an average of 120 shares each. That means if retail sold, you'd see a lot more sells than you see buys. But instead, we see a lot more buys than we see sells. Okay, that means retail is buying, basically. Not only that, it means retail could not possibly have sold. All these shares are not coming from retail. They're coming from somewhere else. Okay, it's definitely not retail. Retail, we know, they have problems receiving the APE dividend. In fact, retail should have gotten the APE dividend, but yet a lot of retail had not gotten the actual APE dividend when trading started. Retail strategy is generally to buy and hold. That's what retail does, okay? Retail is not selling the APE shares. We know that for a fact, okay? We also know that retail owns 95% of all the AMC shares. How do we know that? Because 4.1 million times 120 is 492 million shares. 492 million shares divided by 516.8 million shares is 95%. Retail has 95% of all the shares. That's outstanding. Okay. What about the AMC shorts? They have to deliver APE shares because, if you're short, you have to deliver dividends. We also know that they have problems buying APE shares. Retail is not selling them because, earlier we saw that retail is not selling the shares. So AMC shorts have to buy shares from somewhere or get shares from somewhere and deliver them. And they can't. Okay? So they have no choice but to naked short. And they're doing that to push the price of APE down. They want to induce a FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt in retail and pick up any APE shares they can. And there you go. That's what's going on. This brings me to my personal rules of investing and rule number 5. If you've seen my channel before, you know that I have these particular rules that I keep for myself. You don't have to keep them, but they're my own rules that allow me to keep my own sanity. Rule number 5, every buyer has a seller. Understand who is or maybe on the other side of your investment and why they did the opposite. Okay? Every buyer has a seller. Who's the other side of the trade? We know the other side of the trade is very powerful. They have access to large amounts of dollars. They control the media. They can naked short because they've been able to naked short. Their plans are to manipulate you into selling your APE shares, you being retail. Okay. We also know they can't actually make you sell anything, right? But they need your shares. Otherwise, they'll be exposed for corruption and fraud, right? If you sell something you don't own and there's no way for you to get that back, to actually buy that back, that's called corruption and fraud, okay? And when there's corruption and fraud that's exposed, everyone's going to withdraw their money. And that's going to cause a massive market crash, right? Who knows? Who could be on the other side of this trade? Well, we know that Susquehanna recently lost a huge amount of money, right? $174 billion recently. That's what's going on the other side of that trade. The other side of that trade, these rich, powerful people, they're also losing a ton of money. Susquehanna lost $174 billion. What's also going on with the other side of that trade? Citadel has lost billions, right? Hedge funds are getting dragged down. Here, we can see that they may have lost $94 billion in Q2, minus 19.55% of their total holding value. Well done, Mr. Griffin. Who else is on the other side? Well, it could be BlackRock, for all we know. They lost $1.7 trillion in the last 6 months. $1.7 trillion. So it should come as no surprise to you that on Friday, the entire market was fairly red, right? This is a market picture taken at 12:48 p.m. This is in Pacific time, so it's just before the market closes. The market closes at 1 p.m. on Pacific time, and yeah, it's insane. The market's totally red, but it shouldn't surprise you that much because the S&P 500. If you look at it since the start of the year, it's been down 12.46%. Not only that, the S&P 500 has been down as much as 23% since the start of the year. In June 16th, 2022, it was down 23%. It's recovered a little bit. Now it's only down 12%. Okay. So that's the other side of the trade. The other side of the trade is losing money. The question is, how long can they keep doing it before they get margin called? So what's going on with APE? What caused me to actually make this video? I became intrigued by AMC and APE, and I wanted to understand what was going on. And here's what's, if you don't know what's going on, this is my understanding. Again, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. AMC has 516.8 million shares. Okay, they have about $5 billion of long-term debt. The pandemic resulted in revenues being decimated because people aren't going to the movies. Okay, because people weren't going to the movies, a bunch of shorts decided to pile in on AMC and short the crap out of AMC, basically. They said, we're going to sell shares of AMC we don't own because, quite frankly, we don't see AMC surviving, and they wanted AMC to go bankrupt. But along the way, we see that retail came in and, Wall Street bets came in and retail came in and saved the day. Retail shareholders did not want AMC to go bankrupt. There were 4.1 million retail shareholders who bought AMC shares with an average of 120 shares each. And we see that as of the June 6, 2021 shareholder count that AMC performed. Okay, retail saved the day. They prevented AMC from going bankrupt. And AMC wanted to pay back retail. So retail wanted a share count, and they wanted to know how many naked shorts there were. Well, AMC said, we're going to issue you an APE dividend. 1 for 1 for all AMC shares. If you have one AMC share, as of 2022, August 19th, you will have on August 19th of 2022, you will have one AMC plus one APE. If you held at the date of record one AMC share before, you would have one AMC plus one APE share. Okay, what does that mean? What is an APE share? Well, AMC has provided a lot of detail about an APE share. Basically, an APE share works almost like an AMC share, except it's not counted as part of the share count. It's a preferred equity. As a result, preferred equity has some slightly better liquidation rules. It means that normally, if a company were to go bankrupt, the debtors get paid first, and preferred shareholders get paid next, followed by common stock. Okay, so in that sense, it's a little bit better than common stock in terms of payout if there is a bankruptcy. I'm not saying they're going to go bankrupt. On the other hand, the APE share it's a unique symbol. It has the same voting rights as a common stock, and if there are dividends that will be issued in the future, the APE shares will also get those dividends. Okay, the APE shares may, upon shareholder approval in the future, get converted to a common stock, but shareholders have to vote on it and approve it. So an APE share and common stock are basically the same thing, but an APE share is not a common stock yet. Okay, and it has some extra benefits. And this is why I tend to like the APE share a little bit more, right? It's a preferred share, so it's got a few extra benefits there. Also, you can't short preferred shares. You can short the common stock, but you can't really short the preferred shares. Okay, so that's what an APE share is. Now, after AMC issued the APE shares, basically that means shorts have to deliver the APE shares because it's a dividend, right? Shorts must deliver dividends. They have to pay out dividends that the company issues. And if you can't pay that dividend because you don't have the APE share, effectively, the APE share is a count of the short position. It counts how many shorts there are. Because each failure to deliver of the APE share is equal to one AMC short that is naked, right? That is basically a naked short on AMC. So that's the way to look at it. As a result, I believe APE shares will squeeze the shorts and APE shares will increase in price substantially, meaning the shorts have to deliver the APE shares, they will eventually have to buy the APE shares, and as a result, the price will go up significantly. Okay? When that happens, AMC can then sell some additional APE shares at the market. Let's say the APE shares go to $50 a share, right? Suppose that happened. And suppose AMC decides to sell 100 million APE shares into the market at that price. Well, 50 times 100 million APE shares equals $5 billion. They could pay off all their debt with that. Suppose AMC sells 200 million APE shares into that market. 200 million, okay? Not only could they pay off they get $10 billion then, which basically means not only could they pay off all their debt, they get $5 billion of cash in the bank. But let's say instead of that $5 billion of cash in the bank, They only put $4 billion in, and they use another $1 billion to buy back AMC shares. They could actually reduce the shareholder count dramatically. APE shares are really, really pretty cool in that sense. This is why I believe that Aron basically tweeted checkmate, because it gives Aron the flexibility to deal with what's going on. There are 516.8 million APE shares initially released. So if you had 100 million APE shares sold into the market, in addition to that, let's say you diluted it by 100 million APE shares, that's a dilution of 20%. Not too bad, okay? And in exchange for that, all your debt gets extinguished. That's not a bad deal. That's really not a bad deal at all. If you spend a little more to dilute, if you spend or dilute just a little bit more, that means that AMC can then start buying back AMC shares and put cash in the bank. That's pretty freaking amazing, okay? And that will result in what I believe is called the AMC MOAS, or the mother of all short squeezes, okay? But not only that, it'll be paid for by the shorts, because the shorts will have to buy those APE shares, okay? So I believe $50 an APE share is not unreasonable. I don't believe $100 an APE share is also, I think that's not unreasonable also. I think that's possible, quite possible. Could it go to 200, 400? Who's to say? Who knows? I don't know. I do know that we're currently here, right, where the shorts have to deliver APE shares and they don't exist. We know this because some brokers have not yet delivered APE dividends to shareholders. We know that German shareholders have not received APE dividends, okay? We also know that shorts are pushing down the price of APE because it sure as heck ain't AMC shareholders, okay? And we also know that the shorts are desperate to get shareholders to sell their APE shares, okay? And they want to avoid delivering the APE shares. So if you sell your APE shares, they can avoid delivering it, and that makes their life much happier, okay? We do know that, if you recall, the one thing I wanted to say is, the one thing to note is that AMC shareholders have 95% retail ownership of AMC, and they should have 95% retail ownership of APE, okay? Even though it seems as though these other guys have a ton of money and they're attacking it in every way, shape, or form, in reality, they're just spreading fear, uncertainty, and doubt, because already retail owns 95% of all the shares. You don't have to sell. You don't have to do anything, okay? All they want to do is they want to just freak you out and make you sell. So that's all I really have to say. This is what I think happened with APE trading. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This information is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. It is August 26th. And this is what I think happened on the first week of APE trading. Goodbye.